Mailbag time here on the Cowboys Report. A $2 super thanks to begin with William Cook. Says with this, in reference to the DaRon Bland extension, having Elam and Shavon Revel marks the end of Diggs, even if Bland is the nickel once Diggs returns. I will say Kaiir Elam is a free agent after the season too, so don't have to write off Diggs yet, but I do think the most likely outcome is, given how mad the Cowboys were at Diggs this offseason, which they may not have been right to be mad at him. We'll see how that plays out, or if it doesn't play out. But I think that the writing is on the wall. This is probably the end of the line for Diggs. Also, from William Cook, a $5 super thanks. I think with a healthy Dak and the offense, they will be above 500. I think that is possible. And history does tell us a healthy Cowboys quarterback, almost regardless of who the head coach is, has been at 500 or better. Now, you obviously can't. I guess you can be at 500 with a tie, but ties are an American. I think if the offense plays great, you could be above 500. The margin for error is slight this year, though, especially with so much uncertainty around the head coach. Now, every $5 super thanks, even if you're not watching part of our live shows, does get you in to our Week 1 raffle. So every $5 super thanks gets you in. Appreciate those of you who have already done so. A two-part super thanks question from Matthew. Says, I'm excited for the season, but I'm bummed I don't have a Micah, but $47 million a year is high. And actually surprised Micah was the player they didn't cave to. I feel regardless, this year we're going to have to outscore teams. This year, we will go as far as our offense can carry us. I feel like if Dak is healthy for most of the season, we will be at 9 to 11 wins. No more slow starts. Fingers crossed. They need to start hot this year. I'm ready to traumatize my 1-month-old daughter with her first Cowboys game. Matthew, I think I speak for pretty much all of us. Certainly hope you are correct. Rich Porter Trey with, I think, a very good question/comment here. So are we back in rebuild mode again? And again? What was the point in paying Dak and CeeDee? That's the crux of my issue with where the Cowboys are at and how they are currently constructed. If you wanted to go out to make your team better, let's be honest, you're not better right now post Micah Parsons trade. It's fine. You would have done it in March. You would have done it in April and used those assets to help you now. You could have gotten more teams involved. At minimum, the Falcons would have been involved now, but they're not, and they couldn't be involved this time because they had no first-round pick. So that you were not going to do business with them, period. So you did kind of limit your options. My concern, and it is a concern, and it can be played out incorrectly, and I hope it does, is that this Cowboys team is kind of stuck like being just okay. Where they're not going to be bad enough because they have Dak and Lamb and others who are very good players, if not great players, that's going to prevent them from losing all of their games. They're going to get a top 5 pick, but they're not going to be good enough. They don't have the overall talent in general to be able to win 11 games and go on a real run in the NFC. Plus, you just helped one of your biggest contenders in that. So that's my concern with the Cowboys. So do you trust the Cowboys right now? Y for yes, N for no. Let me know in the comments section of today's show. It is the pinned comment, by the way. From CJ DeYoung III, answer to, am I excited for the return of Cowboys football? No, he says. I get it. He also had this super thanks too, saying, Jerry's a joke. The entire front office is a joke. It's hard to be a Cowboys fan anymore. Thanks. I think this is all in reference to the Micah Parsons trade, obviously. If you wanted to trade Micah, you had a very valid argument to do so. Get assets, get draft picks, save some money, spend it elsewhere. But you didn't go about that plan properly because trading Micah was not the plan. It was not. That's why they wanted to pay him, right? The plan changed. It's fine. I think relative to what they could have gotten, I think they did a pretty reasonable job, actually. But it's the frustration over the process again, at least on that one. The Bland extension process, no drama. It was nice. Keep doing that stuff. From Marcus Arnold, another $5 super thanks. Says, thanks. Here's the problem. Jerry makes just as much money losing as he does winning. Until the mediocrity starts affecting his money, we can get, I feel like that's bad of me to read out loud, but you guys can read it there on the screen. But I get the frustration. There's everyone watching except for the 10 Eagles fans who are hate watching because they are secretly closeted Cowboys fans. It's frustration because we just want to win championships. And it, at least at times, feels like it's not win or go broke for this organization. That they're not as aggressive as they wanted to be, or at least were in the past. Today's show is made possible by PrizePicks. You and I make decisions every day. Being right can get you paid on PrizePicks. Don't miss any of the excitement this season on PrizePicks, where it is good to be right. It is simple to play. You pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. You get your picks right, you could cash in. They invented the flex play, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. You can double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. Keep an eye out for the Dak Prescott max discount. It's a half passing yard for week 1. Put it in every single one of your lineups. That's a no-brainer. Here's one of my lineups this week. This is the power play, not the flex play, so I got to get all 3 right, but one of them's the Dak. Come on. Xavier Worthy, more than 3.5 yards on the ground. Ashton Genty, anytime touchdown as well. So go download the app today, the PrizePicks app today, and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, it's good to be right. Lehman had a $2 super chat. Thanks. Simply said thanks. I appreciate that, Lehman. You're very kind. William Cook had another super thanks. He's been dominant in the mailbag. This was a $15 one. Thank you, William. Says, Tom, I really appreciate your take as you speak for all of us suffering Cowboys fans. Now is the time to move from Micah. He is gone, not coming back. Keep the faith. I agree. I'm over it. I see all these people tweeting about the back and stuff. I don't believe the back's hurt, actually. I feel like that was spin after he practiced fully his first day. Go figure. I don't need to see clips. I did not watch the press conference. I'm done. I'm over it. And I am actively cheering against the Packers in every single game because I want that draft pick to be even higher. Now, if you guys want even more Dallas Cowboys news and rumors, make sure you guys are subscribed. YouTube.com/@CowboysTV. We will have free Cowboys videos each and every single day, essentially multiple times per day. So do not miss out. Hit that sub button, youtube.com/CowboysTV. Let's go to Chris Roman, then we'll get to some super chats after that. He says, would you sign Jabrill Peppers? The Cowboys, I want to put this up. Cowboys did make Donovan Wilson the captain as voted on by the players. That does feel important. That does feel like it's something worth mentioning. The fact that they chose to make him a captain isn't something that should be dismissed and ignored. That is probably pretty indicative of how they feel about him overall. And I would have fun with it. I'm going to try him at running back, frankly, but I think he's going to go somewhere where there's a more obvious need at safety. Don't hate the idea, though. I'm always trying to get better. So what do you think? Would you sign Jabrill Peppers? S for sign, P for pass. Let me know in the comments section of today's show. Got a $10 super chat again coming in from William Cook. Says, I wonder how the Eagles defense will do against CeeDee, Pickens, and Ferg. Eagles have a good defense. I do wonder about that other cornerback spot for them. Obviously, Cooper DeJean is a good football player. He can do a bunch of nickel/safety stuff. I think that Quinton Mitchell is a damn good football player. Keely Ringo against George Pickens. Assuming he's going to start, or if Shakoria and Brennan is not ready yet. I think you could take advantage of that. You'll see how Zach Baum plays if there's a letdown season, but you need your offense to play well in this one. $5 from Matthew. I really hope Shoddy is a good coach with as much hate as he has gotten. I'm 29 years old, and I just want to see success. DC for L. Me and Matthew are on the exact same page. It's all we want. We just want to see the success. All right, Malik L., another $5 super chat into our raffle. Got you entered. If the draft capital from the trade is because of eyes on a future prospect, is it Arch Manning or the new face of the defense in Anthony Hill Jr.? I'll say this. Let's just let the quarterback stuff, let it play out. Arch was bad in week 1. He did not play well. My issue with the Arch stuff, I did a short on this. If he is who we want him to be, you're not going to get him. Because that means he's going to be the number 1 overall pick. The nephew of Peyton and Eli, that team that gets that number 1 pick, they're not trading it. They're not. They probably need a quarterback already, so they're just going to take him. Now, if it's a different QB, okay, but you still have to be in that top 5. I don't think you're going to have a top 5 pick this year. You might be picking 12 again. That's possible. But 12 and 28 from the Packers doesn't move the needle on defense in quite the same way. Caleb Downs might not be very likely, who I love. Anthony Hill, possible. I don't think the NFL is quite as high on him, but that is worth monitoring. So I think, watch all the draft prospects and, but also watch the mid to late round 1 guys too. We got a $50 super chat from Manny. We will do the shot outside of the mailbag because otherwise it looks kind of weird as far as I'm concerned. So he says, do you think the Packers are Super Bowl contenders with Parsons? I feel like Dallas had a better team with Parsons than the Packers have currently. What do you think? I think the Packers are overhyped, if you ask me. Cheers. Cheers to you, my friend. I will preface this by saying I hope the Packers are overhyped. I think the Packers with Micah, I think they do vault into the Super Bowl contenders category. I had them more in like the playoff category. I think adding a top 3 pass rusher is a pretty big boost. Now, long term, it's going to limit some of their flexibility to add young talent, but I do think it's stock up for them. Jai Games, $2. Diggs said 75 to 80% chance of him playing Thursday. Hope he does. I certainly would not be surprised if that ends up being the case. I feel like that number, it keeps going up week in and week out, that everything just keeps getting a little bit higher on that front. All right, what is your confidence level in the Cowboys? Scale it from 1 to 10 in the comment section of today's show. Not specifically for week 1, just going forward. As we move into the 2025 season, what is your confidence level in the Dallas Cowboys? Scale it for me from 1 to 10 in the comment section of today's show.